There we go. Master of India achievement success. Let's see if I can... See? Master of India. So, I started a game, this is on Dorado, as Great Britain, and I won the 100 Years' War. Now, once upon a time, winning the 100 Years' War was kind of hard, but I did it back when it was hard. And doing it now is so much easier because they changed the way... Two very important things. They made the English Channel insanely profitable as a node, and they made the starting territory that England has within the English Channel, enough to make it so that England can fund like a 42-man army of partially mercenaries without even tapping their bank. You have so much money. And the second thing is that they changed it so that now you can walk through any territory that your enemy can walk through. So basically all you have to do in order to win the 100 Years' War is quickly sprint over and pick up the armies that you have on the mainland, then land up in Calais, and then wait for France to get permission to walk through Burgundy. Now, France and Burgundy will probably be rivals, but that doesn't matter because France has 1 million vassals, and once one of France's vassals, or once Provence, gets permission to walk through Burgundy, then France will come and attack you in Calais. And as long as you're running a mostly mercenary army, and as long as you never let your budget drop to a point where you have to take out any loans, and as long as you Royal Marry as many people as possible so that you get an heir out before your disaster kicks in and ruins your life, you can just starve France of both money and manpower. Lose a bunch of fights, and every time you lose, consolidate away your normal infantry and replace it with mercenary infantry until France is out of money and manpower and keep them blockaded. And then eventually Burgundy will attack France, and if not, then Castile or Aragon or someone. If you stay at war long enough, eventually someone else will attack France. And as France is dying, you PU them. PU. So I've held on to the French Personal Union the entire game. I did at one point try to integrate them, but they immediately declared war for independence. They're not big fans of being integrated, and I decided I'd prefer having them as a PU than being integrated anyway. Sure, it's less trade power in some pretty important nodes, but as you can see, with any game, as long as you take the trade idea and you get a little bit of trade power in various places, you can be insanely rich, so it's no big deal. So I have 19 merchants because of the way another change that they made to the game. Every successful colony that you get, and every successful African trade company you get, and every Indian trade company you get gives you another merchant. So I have 19 merchants. It's kind of ridiculous. I didn't focus my colonization. I just colonized enough to get a colony in each of the locations, like Argentina and Brazil and Colombia and Mexico and Florida. And I guess Colombia and Alaska took some land up there. But my goal was to get more merchants. It wasn't actually to get trade power in the United States. And that's how she rolls. So I'm still midway through the normal India playthrough. I just wanted to get the Masters of India achievement because I wanted to watch some TV, and you can't talk while watching TV. So I wanted a game to play that's nice and relaxing, where there's no way to die if you're Great Britain. It's just take it easy. And there we go. Master of India. This is actually probably like the 5th time I've tried for Master of India. And the problem with Master of India is that you don't even discover the Indian continent until like 1550, which is 110 years of playing. So you can start a new game with the intent of taking over India. And unless you get in a really stable position on the mainland where you're never going to have to look back over here, fighting a two-front war when it takes literally 2 years to transport your troops from one theater to another is just not reasonable. So idea-wise, I totally hung out with the religious idea for this Casus Belli. I ended up using the religious idea when I played Bamanas in India, and I loved it so much. Just the CB against any neighbor, super, super helpful. I started with exploration to discover India quicker. Then I took expansion. Later I canceled exploration because once everyone's colonized all the land, there's no point in holding on to it. It's only colonization stuff. So exploration, expansion, religious, Then I just went for all the troop stuff. Administrative gives you more mercenaries, quality, quantity, offensive and defensive make your troops fight better, and trade just gives you money, which equals more troops. I've never actually had an army larger than I do now. In fact, up until now, the largest army I ever had was 60. France, for a long time, had a 120 army when I only had 60, but as long as you keep your Diplotech ahead of time, then France won't break the PU. But there was a period of time when I was finishing the trade idea when I let my Diplo idea slip, and you can see France's Liberty Desire is based entirely on diplomatic tech and their relative strength to you. Now, right now, because I have 130,000 troops, the relative strength to you thing isn't a problem anymore, but for a long time, that was like plus 60% Liberty Desire just from that. So even keeping a 200 relationship with them, they still went above 50 Liberty Desire and refused to help me in wars. So you can see there's this little tiny war back on the mainland where Cologne wants to fight Thuringia, and I'm the protector of the Reformed faith, so I got called in, and I'm like, no worries, France will handle it for me. And for the first like 3/4 of the game, that was true. France would just run into Thuringia and siege everything up and kill everyone and be like, I'm France, I'll kill your parents. But eventually, when their Liberty Desire got above 50%, they stopped fighting for me and they just let little tiny nations siege me up. So I had to recruit units back home, and it becomes kind of a pain in the butt. This unit, I suspect, is waiting for a ship to take him somewhere specific, and that's why he's not fighting the troops in his own territory. I think the colonization AI is really bad. Not the colonization itself, but like when you have colonies spread out all across the world, then what France chooses to pay attention to tends to be a little ridiculous. It's like the automatic rebel suppression AI, where like if you put an army in the northwest, an army in the northeast, and an army in the south, and then there are 2 rebels over here, this army will go to the first rebel, then go back to where it was standing, and this army will immediately deploy over to the west. Then if there's a rebellion in the east, then the southern army will fight the rebellion in the east, and then if there's a rebellion in the south, no one will fight the southern rebellion until all this other stuff is taken care of. So I think that the rebel suppression AI is exactly the same AI that France or anyone else uses to decide which threats to deal with first. So I suspect when this little 11-sized army came into France, France took the next idle army, the next army waiting for a command, and dispatched it to go kill this little 11 stack, even though there's an army right here that could easily have just changed its mind and been like, never mind, I won't go to North America and kill the Incas, I will kill the guy right next to me and then go to North America and kill the Incas. I don't think that they can cancel commands. So it's possible I can exploit that in my future games when I'm playing against Britain or France and they have troops on various continents. All you need to do is give them something that they're really confident they can handle, and then right when they're about to handle it, retreat. But use the time that they're trying to handle it to do something sneaky in another place. I don't know. That might be fun. Anyway, I'm going to go back to India now. I just wanted to take a little break. And I was surprised. It's already almost 1820. The game ends in 1820, so it's like 33 years from over. It took forever to finish this achievement, but it was fun. And I got to watch lots of episodes of Veronica Mars. This was all over the course of a Saturday and a Sunday, and now it's over. Bye.